Okay, fifth graders, here we're starting, what is this? This is 12-3, 12-3. And more conversion, except that this section is really more about weight conversions, tons, pounds, ounces, that kind of thing. So let's take a look at the first example they have here. It says an adult African elephant weighs about 5 tons. A baby African elephant weighs about 250 pounds. How many pounds does an adult elephant weigh? And how can you convert 250 pounds to tons? So they give us a nice example here, and I'll walk you through it in a moment. I was kind of curious what the largest elephant in the world would be, how much it would weigh, and what it would look like. And here's a picture of a really large African elephant. And the African elephant, that's the largest land animal in the world. And the largest one ever recorded was found in Angola. That's part of a country in Africa, Angola. And it weighed 24,000 pounds. And it was just about 13 feet tall. Well, actually 13 feet in the shoulder. So 24,000 pounds. They say the average, over here they're saying the average one is, what did they say here? Weighs about 5 tons. Well, how much is a ton? A ton is 2,000 pounds. We can see that right here. So 5 tons would be 10,000. So this one that I'm talking about here, and I don't think this is a picture of one, but it's just a picture of a very large African elephant. 24,000 pounds. It's twice as big as the average one. So they're pretty sizable. Let's see here. Go back to layer 1. So you've heard this before. It says to convert from larger units to smaller units, you'd multiply. To convert from smaller units to larger units, you divide. And I was thinking about a way that might help you guys kind of remember that. If we're talking about larger units, from larger units to smaller units, you multiply. So to make a number larger, you would multiply it. So for example, if I wanted to make 10 larger, I would multiply it. I could multiply it by 2, and that would equal 20. And then from smaller units, I'm looking at box C here, from smaller units to larger units, you divide. So it starts with smaller units, you would divide. So again, if I wanted to make 10 smaller, I would divide it. And if I wanted to divide it by 2, 10 divided by 2 would be 5. So just try to remember it that way. That might help some of you. If it starts with larger, then you're going to be multiplying. If it starts with smaller, then you're going to be dividing. And maybe that'll help you guys remember. Anyways, overall, this example here, it talks about if you wanted to find the weight in pounds, and I did it just a moment ago here, it'd be 5 times 2,000, that's going to be 10,000 pounds. And then if you needed to convert that 250 pounds, we're talking about the smaller elephant now, the baby elephant, 250 pounds. And 1 ton is 2,000 pounds, you would divide 250 by 2,000, and it would end up being 1/8 of a ton. And you can see what they've done there. So let's go down to some of the work they want you to do. Let me move this down a little bit here. The convince me. Let's take a look at that. Let's see here. When you convert 16 pounds to ounces, do you multiply or divide? Well, so 16 pounds to ounces. Are you starting with something larger and going smaller, or you're starting with something smaller and going larger? Well, hopefully all of you know that 16 pounds are heavier than ounces, so we're starting with something larger and we're going to something smaller, so we're going to be multiplying. And to convert from something larger to smaller, you multiply. Okay? So just try to keep that in mind. If you're starting with something larger and going smaller, you multiply. If you're starting with something smaller to larger, then you would divide. Oh. Turn that off. Otherwise they won't let me play my video. Okay, let's see here. I guess it's 6:30, doing okay on time here. All right, guided practice. It says, number 1 there, would it be best to measure the weight of an egg in tons, pounds, or ounces? I'll let you guys answer that one. And then it does say explain. And I think the explanation would be that a couple of those would be too large of a unit to measure the weight of an egg. So you tell me. In fact, this will be a highlighted question here. I'm gonna highlight this one. Number 1. This will be one of the ones that I'll ask about in the for the class craft points. Okay. All right, number 2, what types of tools do people select to measure weight? Explain your example. Well, let's see here. Probably you all have a scale in your home. Usually they're in a bathroom and you just step on a scale, see how much you weigh. And then they have in schools and in scientists, they might have a balance, or I think they call them a pan balance sometimes. Let's see here. Oh, balance, I spelled that wrong. A balance. They look something like this. You'd have an arm, and then there'd be a tray to weigh something like that. You could balance something that way. They also have balances that look something like, in fact, I used to have one in my other school. It had a sort of a plate to put things on, and then they had a scale that you could slide some of the grams, and you would place your object on that, and that would tell you how much something weighed. In fact, when we would do a bridge construction out of balsa wood, we would measure how much the bridge weighed when students were done with it. Okay, number 3 here. It's 3 through 6. It says convert each unit of weight. Well, number 3 is pretty easy. 2,000 pounds. What does 2,000 pounds equal? Well, they gave us that right there. 2,000 pounds is 1 ton. So the answer to number 3 is 1 ton. Let's see here. How about number 6? There'll be another question I could ask. A half a pound is how many ounces? Well, of course, you need to find out how many ounces is in a pound. Let's go down a little further. Independent practice. Let's see here. I think you guys should be able to do all of these once you know how many. Oh, actually, I just noticed this, and they had something similar to this in 12.1 and 12.2. You might want to do number 18 and 19 before you go any further here. That would probably help you out. In fact, I'll just walk you guys through it right now. So half a pound is 8 ounces, because 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And then, so if 16 ounces is 1 pound, what would be 32 ounces? Well, 16 and 16 is 32. Actually, I think I said that wrong. 32 ounces. So 16 twice is 32. So 32 ounces would be 2 pounds. I'll get that right. I haven't had my second cup of coffee yet. And then 5 pounds, well, how would you figure out how many ounces that is? Well, it would be 16 times 5. Because 1 pound is 16 ounces. 2 pounds would be 32 ounces. And so I would multiply 16 by 2. Well, if I wanted to find out how many ounces was in 5 pounds, I would multiply 16 by 5. And that happens to be 80 ounces. And then now a half a ton, how many pounds is that? Well, how many pounds is a ton? 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. LB stands for pounds. So that would be 1,000. And then 2 tons is what? 2 tons is equal to, that's going to be 4,000, because 1 ton is 2,000. And then 12,000, well, how many times does 2 go into 12? It goes in 6 times. So this would be 6 tons. Now that you've done these, or I've done them, you should be able to answer some of these up above a little bit easier, and maybe even some on the next page. Let's see here. Let's go to the last page, and I think we'll be done here. Number 20, it says the perimeter of a rectangular playground is shown below. It's 160 feet. What is the area of the playground? What do you need for area? Do you remember? Area equals length times width. Well, they've given us one side. So if that's 50 feet, then this is going to be 50 feet. But we don't have the other 2 sides. So how could we figure out what the area of the playground is? It says the perimeter is 160 feet. So we've accounted for 100 feet, because here's 50 and here's 50. So that's 100 feet. Okay? So what's left? What do we have to account for? Another 60 feet. Because the perimeter all the way around this thing, okay, is 160 feet. And we've accounted for 100 feet. So what's left? 60 feet. So if 60 feet is left, how much would each one of these sides be? Well, it would be 30. Each side would be 30 feet. Now we can figure out the area, or you can, because I'm not going to do it. Area equals length times width. Okay? Let's see here. Number 21, humans exploring space have left behind bags of trash. Okay? They're currently about Looks like 4 million pounds of litter in orbit around the Earth. Oh my gosh. Julia says this amount using number names is 4 billion. Well, she's wrong. Do you agree? No. Explain your thinking. 1 million has 6 zeros. It's written as 1, comma, 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0. A billion, 1 billion, has how many zeros? Has 9 zeros. And that'd be written as 1, comma, 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0. That's a billion. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do any more. I'm looking at these. Yeah, you guys are good. Okay, so get this done. Maybe I should highlight one more question. I think I've only highlighted 2. Let's see here. This one. About how much would 4 horses weigh? And it says write the weight in 2 different ways. I'm not concerned about that. Well, no, you could. You would do 1 in pounds probably and 1 in tons. You certainly wouldn't use ounces. And they give you the average weight of a horse right there. So, okay, that's 3 highlighted questions, I think. 1, 2, 3, yeah, okay. All right, you guys, that's it. I will see you later today.